Welcome to L3S. Today we are going to discuss one of the most important current affair topics in the world economy, OPEC and OPEC Plus. Recently, this topic has become more important because the United Arab Emirates officially exited OPEC and OPEC Plus in May 2026. Today we will understand what is OPEC, what is OPEC Plus, how they control oil prices, why UAE left OPEC, how it affects India and the world, latest 2026 development. Let's begin. What is OPEC? OPEC stands for Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. It is an international organization of major oil producing countries. OPEC was formed in 1960 in Iraq. The five founding members were Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela. The headquarters of OPEC is located in Vienna, Austria. Why was OPEC created? Before OPEC was formed, major Western oil companies controlled global oil prices. Oil producing countries were not getting enough profit from their natural resources. So OPEC was created to protect oil producing countries, coordinate oil policies, control production, stabilize global oil prices. Current OPEC members as on May 2026. After UAE exit, OPEC now has 11 member countries: Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Algeria, Nigeria, Venezuela, Congo, Gabon, and Equatorial Guinea. The UAE officially left OPEC in May 2026. How powerful is OPEC? OPEC countries together control approximately around 38% global crude oil production, nearly 80% of world's proven oil reserves. That is why OPEC decisions strongly affect petrol prices, diesel prices, inflation, airline cost, transportation, and global economy. Largest oil producers, influential countries in OPEC. Largest oil producer in OPEC's important countries are: first, Saudi Arabia, most influential OPEC member, production quota around 10 million barrels per day. Then Iraq, around 4.2 million barrels per day. And UAE, before exit, 3.4 million barrels per day. Next, we will discuss what is OPEC, why it is formed. OPEC Plus is a large alliance created in 2016. It includes OPEC countries plus major non-OPEC oil producing countries. The most important OPEC plus countries outside OPEC is Russia. Other countries: Kazakhstan, Oman, Mexico, Azerbaijan. After 2014, global oil prices crashed because too much oil was produced. US shale oil production increased, demand slowed globally. OPEC alone could not control prices effectively. So Saudi Arabia, Russia joined together to create OPEC Plus. This made the group much more powerful. How OPEC Plus controls oil prices? OPEC Plus controls prices mainly through production quotas. For example, if oil prices fall, OPEC Plus cuts production, supply will be less, and prices will be resulted high. If oil prices rise too much, OPEC Plus may increase production, then supply will be more and price will be lower. Now, why did UAE leave OPEC? The main reasons: production restriction, then disagreement with Saudi Arabia, independent energy policy. For production restriction, the UAE wanted to produce more oil. It invested billions of dollars in expanding production capacity. UAE plans to increase capacity to 5 million barrels per day by 2027, but OPEC production quotas limited UAE out. Then disagreement with Saudi Arabia. There were growing tensions between UAE and Saudi Arabia over production quotas, regional influence, oil policies. Independent energy policy. The UAE wants more flexibility, faster expansion, and greater foreign investment. UAE leaders stated that they want to produce oil without these restrictions. Now, why UAE exit is important? UAE officially left OPEC and OPEC Plus on May 1, 2026. The UAE was one of the major producers, a major Gulf oil exporter, a country with huge air capacity. Analysts believe UAE's exit could reduce OPEC influence, increase competition, create future oil price volatility. How it affects India imports around 55% of its crude oil requirement from abroad. Major suppliers include Iraq, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Russia. So whenever OPEC Plus changes production, petrol price in India may change, inflation may rise, transportation cost increase. That's why India closely watches every OPEC Plus meetings. A closure of the Strait of Hormuz in early 2026 has severely affected India's oil industry as nearly 50% of its crude import has passed through this critical water. Key impact of an Indian's oil industry are supply disruption with over 20% of global oil flows affected. India is facing significant delays in crude shipments from key suppliers like Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, and rising cost, increased shipping insurance, and logistical costs are driving up crude prices, with reports mentioning oil at US dollar 110 and risk surging even higher. Refinery operations continued closure pretends to limit crude availability for Indian refinery and potentially in production. Alternative routes. India has initiated alternative yet more costly trade routes via the Red Sea through alternative pipe like east-west pipe. Then economic strain. Right, the crisis. This crisis is creating severe inflationary pressure impacting Indian rupee and overall economy. Latest 2026 developments. Currently, the global oil price is facing major instability because of Middle East tensions, Iran conflict, Strait of Hormuz disruptions, supply chain problems. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important oil shipping routes. Nearly around 20% of global oil trade passes through it. Because of recent tensions, oil price increased 110 US dollar per barrel in 26. This created fears of global inflation, fuel shortage, higher cost. Thank you.